have been really tired this week. Been very, very tired. Yeah, you have bouts of insomnia when you are menopausal. It's been one of those weeks.
One of the joys.
It's such a joy to me. And the only thing that I want to do is crawl into my bed with all my MyPillow sheets and MyPillow pillows. Can I just tell you, as a 50-something-year-old woman, like my bed is my favorite place in the house, and it's because
the best place ever.
I'm surrounded by MyPillow everything. And then when I get out of my MyPillow bed, I can get into my MyPillow slippers, and it's like I feel like it's a piece of everything is MyPillow. I have all the MyPillow things, and then I take a shower with my MyPillow towels. Everything MyPillow in my house.
Well, and if they could just stop already, because it's getting to be a problem.
Is it really?
Yes. Well, because
I say can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
The amount they end up ordering, it's like, because you think, okay, well, surely they can't make everything super well.
They make everything.
And then they
everything
do.
well. Mm-hmm, they do.
It's a problem. And if you are a person who loves the Giza Dream Sheet specifically, they are on mega sale right now.
They are
mega sale. These are the ones that like feel, what's that stuff they're made of? Like sateen, not satin,
but satiny. They're satiny.
Satiny.
Yeah. They're so lovely. They're just really great. I mean, it's the perfect way to like give yourself some self-care is MyPillow products.
That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. And you can get the Giza Dream Sheets on mega sale when you use code CHICKS at mypillow.com/chicks. That's mypillow.com/. So we're going to kick off today's deep dive discussion. A moment of personal privilege, if I may, because I had to get to you yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I had an incident occur in my neighborhood.
Okay.
And it just, you know what's interesting about the incident? The whole reason I was on a walk, I went on a walk in my neighborhood, which by all accounts is a very safe neighborhood. I've never felt fearful in my life in my neighborhood.
Mm-mm.
And I was in a rage when I went on the walk. And I was thinking, I'm going to go on this walk to alleviate the rage. And the rage I was feeling.
Yeah, why were you raging?
So did you see that story about the mother and daughter who were leaving a Drake concert and this guy ran them over because he sped through a light going 80 miles an hour?
I did not see that.
There's video. And what happened?
Are they okay?
No, they
died.
They literally exploded. Like it was so horrific. And I was so mad about it that I just needed to go on a walk. And so like I was already raging and I'm thinking I'm going on a walk to alleviate the rage.
Okay.
That did not happen. So, and I had my little audiobook. I'm like listening to a new Colleen Hoover novel. I was like really, really enjoying myself. And I'm getting to the tail end of my walk. And I'm happy. It's a beautiful day, which is rare for Indiana in February.
Right. It is rare. Very rare. Usually there's a blizzard. Right.
Right.
Uh-huh. And you're like, oh, there's not a blizzard.
You don't
I'm going to go walk. I'm going to do a rage walk because it's not blizzarding right now. Right.
And I really was feeling much, much better. I was like, my rage was calmed down. I was enjoying the book. It was great. The sun was shining. It was awesome. And then I walk up to like this intersection in my neighborhood, which is kind of like the back entrance. So it's a street, and then that street intersects with my actual street.
Right.
Okay. And someone pulls up to the stop sign. It's a car, and two guys get out like as I'm approaching. Okay. So I'm immediately on guard because I'm like, this is weird.
Why are these guys getting out of a car? Right. Two guys
at a stop sign, not like at a house or at a parking, you know what I mean? It's at a stop sign. These two guys jump out of the car. The driver is still in the driver's seat. Two guys jump out of the car and go to the trunk and take out these giant tote bags.
My God.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I immediately just got on my phone to pretend I was on the phone with my husband.
Which is that's smart. It's very smart.
Is it?
I actually would have gotten on the phone with my husband. I wouldn't have pretended. I would have gotten on the phone with my husband. I would have been like, there are guys right here, like with tote bags. And seriously, and either that or I would have been on the walk with a firearm. You know what I mean? I would have been walking.
Yeah.
But without a firearm, yes, I would have been on the phone with my husband. I would have been like, get your firearm and bring it. to where I am right now.
I didn't want to have a conversation that was about them. Right. Because I wanted to just make it sound like, oh, somebody just happened to call me and I'm like talking about how they're coming home soon and all that kind of stuff.
Which is really smart because you want to make sure that like if you are in a situation where you feel like you can be abducted or something, or you know, that if you feel like that could happen, that person understands that you're on the phone with somebody, or that you're missed in some way, or they know where you are. Exactly. That somebody's expecting you to come home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, and they know, and I said, I'm on a walk right now. It's so gorgeous out. Like, these are all the things I'm saying.
So
and
smart.
I'm watching. So one of the guys that had gotten out of the car, walks in the same direction that I'm going in. So like, ultimately we're going to be
walking together.
We're going to be essentially walking together. The other guy is heading towards me. Okay. And so I'm just super on guard. I'm like not making eye contact, just having my little conversation, but really, really freaked out. The car turns onto my street and just keeps driving. And so I'm watching these guys, and what they're doing is they're putting flyers in everybody's mailbox.
Oh,
so I calmed down a little bit. I calmed down and I'm like, okay, these are clearly Hispanic guys, probably looking to do some lawn care because they're putting flyers in all the mailboxes. I'm like calming down, but still super on high alert. And I don't like essentially that they're going to be seeing where I live too. Like if I stop at home. So I'm kind of like taking my time. Anyway, I got so angry about my reaction to those guys because at no time before the Joe Biden presidency have I ever been afraid of Hispanic people.
Right.
Ever.
Or afraid really to be in your neighborhood.
Yes.
Exactly.
And so I got into a whole new rage, even though the walk was supposed to cure my rage. I got into a whole new rage about Joe Biden making me so freaking scared and also kind of racist.
Right. I know. And then you wrote me yesterday because you were like, I'd hate this. I mean, I absolutely hate this. And you have to listen. There's one. I have raised our daughters, especially. I mean, our son is this way too. But we have raised our daughters. I have raised our daughters, especially, to have their head on a swivel. So, like, even our 14-year-old, sometimes I notice that she's doing it more than I am. Like at a store, that she's constantly looking around, making sure, like, if there's some weird dude that's walking by, and I got to tell you, like, if she sees something that is odd. And an individual that's, maybe like that puts her on alert, I feel bad about that. It's kind of like the same thing. Like, I hate that I have to make her on high alert. Like, I hate that the world is that way, but it's also like a good thing, right? Because you want them to be aware. You don't want them to be a sitting duck for a crime to happen to them. You want them to make sure that they are aware of their surroundings, but simultaneously you hate it. Like, you feel bad about it. You hate that they're that way. And you hate that there is more crime now than there was, I feel like, when we were growing up. Because remember when we would just be able to, my God, our parents would kick us out of the house and be like, go run and play. And
I'll see you when it's dark.
Yeah. See you in 12 hours, go drink out of the hose. Bye. I mean, that was like I would never do that with my kid now. Like, I don't even let her out of my sight at a Target. I'm so hyper aware of, I got to make sure, because I don't let her go into public restrooms alone. Like, she's just now at the point at 14 where I'm so weird about that. Like, when we do road trips, I remember telling my husband, do not, like, if he went with her by himself across the country on a trip, I'd be like, do not let her go into a public restroom by herself. Like, make sure you are standing right outside that door and that you make sure that there's nobody in there. I mean, I was so weird about that. I've always been so bizarre about that. So yeah, I get pissed off that I am that way, but I'm also, I guess, a little glad that I am that way. It's a strange dichotomy. So I know I can understand your rage, but at the same time, it's like, would you rather be clueless about it and then be, I don't know, perhaps a victim of the crime, which is, listen, that's just part of our society now. Unfortunately, there's a little bit more crime now because of the shitty policies that are in place because of Democrats.
Well,
because
and
of
that,
liberals.
that's the thing is like, there's no question that the crime is worse and that there's a lot of illegals who are committing a lot of crimes. I mean, we just saw that nursing student at Georgia. I mean, that's, you always have these stories in the back of your head. And I guess the reason that I got so ragey about it is in addition to the fact that it's happening, which is unacceptable, but that like Biden's policies have literally changed the psyche of the country.
Right.
So that now people like me who never had to think about this stuff, who I would have never looked at, Hispanic men walking through the neighborhood. I would have always just assumed, oh, they're just whatever. They're doing work or they've got friends here or what. I wouldn't have even thought twice about it. And now my first instinct is to be afraid. And that is on Joe Biden. And that is why I raged, because I was like, you suck so hard that not only are you bringing more crime, but you're actually causing people like me and me specifically, because that's my experience and I relate to it. Now I don't want to go anywhere ever. I'm afraid of people. I'm afraid of crowds. I'm afraid of public places.
You're afraid of flying.
I'm afraid of flying.
Right. You're afraid of all sorts of things. Yeah. I'm a little bit on the other spectrum of you. So I probably represent a different part of the population where, I mean, I'm not a big fan of crowds. I don't like being in big crowds. I'll avoid those, but I still go do all the things. I mean, I'm going to leave the house. I'm going to do all the stuff. I'm going to fly. I'm going to do all the, because I'm like, whatever. It's kind of like COVID. I remember during COVID, people were really afraid of the virus is going to get you. You got to wear you got to wear the mask. You got to do it. I didn't do any of the things. I didn't do any of the things they told me to do. And I was fine. I was okay. And so I just kind of gave my middle finger to all those people that were like, you need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. You need to be afraid. You need to live your life in fear. Screw you. I'm not going to live my life in fear. If it's my time, it's my time.
Yeah.
That's the way I looked at it.
But so much of that was a lie. And this is not a lie.
That's a very good point. It's a very, very good point. I hear you. And it's like, I still have I have that trepidation going out, but I still go out. I still do the things. How long I'm going to continue to do that? I don't know. Because the world's getting crazier and crazier and crazier.
My God.
And I live in Texas.
I know, and it makes me afraid for you. Like I would be even more afraid being in an actual, although every state is a border state now, I know this, like being in one of the key border states. Yeah. I would also be, but then again, you see Hispanics in your neighborhood all the time. Right.
I live amongst, it's like, I look at it like my daughter, I look at her school and it's like 30, 30, 30 when it comes to whites, Hispanics, and blacks. And so it's like that around here. Like I am a white person living in an area where I'm probably the minority because most of the people that surround us are Hispanics. Mm-hmm. Just because I live out in the country, there's a lot of Hispanics and black people. That's just, I don't really pay much attention to the color of people's skin as long as they're not being assholes.
Yeah, I didn't used to until freaking Biden made me. And that's why I'm so mad at him. Because of all the Democrats' talking points about how racism, they care so much about it. They have created so much of it. Yeah. Starting with Obama all the way until now. Yeah. They have created it.
I totally agree. I absolutely agree that Democrats have done that because they've placed such an emphasis on it. And then now there's the whole crime part of it. Where listen, you were saying yesterday, I think that it was in our regular daily show, you said something about Maduro not wanting Maduro, Venezuelan president. A lot of these criminals from Venezuela are coming to our country, and it's like we can't even send them back because Maduro is like, nah, I don't want them back. We're gonna send you our worst, like the worst of the worst. We're gonna send to America, and don't even try to send them back. And it's like, what do you even do with that? So when this administration tells us, it's just the best and the brightest. These people are just dreamers, and they're coming over and they're trying to get a better life. It's just crap. Because granted, I'm sure there are some people that do want a better life, but at the end of the day, they're breaking the law when they come over here. Initially, then when they're busting over the border, the first thing they're doing is breaking the law. So I'm sorry, but that's crappy. You're breaking. That's the first thing that you're doing. Your parents didn't do that. Your parents didn't break the law to get in here. They followed all the right paths, and they took many years, and they paid money, and they jumped through hoops, and they did all the right things, and they waited in line. And I'm sure that pisses them off when they see what's going on. So these people, the first thing they do is they bust over the border, and they're breaking the law. That's the first thing they do. If that's the first thing that you're doing to get over here, and you're not escaping, some horrible situation, other than the fact that you just want to come over here and get a free handout, what else are you capable of doing?
Yeah. And we're finding out, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and further about Venezuela, it's not even just that Maduro is saying, no, you can't deport anybody because we don't want them. They are horrible people. So you can keep them.
You can keep them.
The rumor is that he's actually emptying out their mental institutions and jails to get rid of all of their bad people.
Unbelievable.
And just sending them right on over to us.
And I read that their crime has gone down. Their violent crime has gone down. Isn't that interesting?
Who would have thought that?
I know. It's really interesting. And people are just clamoring to get in here because we give them all sorts of free shit. Go figure.
This is why I rage. And the only thing that will help other than a really nice walk is a really nice piece of meat from Omaha Steaks.
Starving right now. Starving.
Oh my God. Well, here, lucky for you and lucky for me and really lucky for everybody, omahasteaks.com/chicks. They now have a subscription service. So if you are a person who, like me, just randomly wants to order huge amounts of things from Omaha Steaks because everything that you get from there is so good, now you can decide how often you want your subscription to come, exactly what you want in it. You can change it up every time. You can change the quantities. You can change the regularity of it. There's so many choices and flexibility with their subscription program. I don't even know why you wouldn't want to do it, especially because you get an extra 10% off your orders and you get free burgers for life.
Oh my gosh.
With every order.
There are a lot of subscription boxes out there. This is the best.
You don't get better than that.
Right. You don't get better than that. When you get free burgers, you get meat, people. It's meat. The best kind
of seafood.
Meat.
You can also get seafood. That's my favorite.
You do like their seafood. I'm not a big seafood person, but they do have really, really delicious seafood. So yeah.
So good. So check out the subscription offering. Lock in that extra 10% on every order. Just go to omahasteaks.com/chicks. Customize your subscription box right now. You will not be sorry at all. Okay, so anyway, that was my rage spiral, and it's not any wonder given the death of this Georgia student, given the increased crime. There's like some other illegal who just got arrested for molesting somebody, and it's out of control.
And those are the ones that are reported. That's the thing, like I was talking about last week about how, this is not a one-off. It's so horrific. What happened to Lake and Riley. It's horrific. And I cannot even imagine what her family's going through, but she's not a solo case. Like, this is not an isolated case. This is happening in other places too. I mean, I think I'm glad that there's a spotlight on this case. I'm glad that people are paying attention. Of course, the CNNs and the MSNBCs and the CBSs of the world want to pretend that this is just a one-off. It's not. I mean, this has been going on for years, and this shouldn't have happened. I think that's what's so maddening for me, is that she should not have been killed.
Right.
If we would have done the right things and this administration actually gave a crap about us as American citizens, her life she would still be living.
And then we talked about this in our morning show too, about how the AP and other news outlets tried to spin this as if it was a story about running or jogging alone.
Right.
And how girls should be more careful about running or jogging alone, instead of the focus being on the fact that this creep was in here in this country to begin with. That's the story. Has nothing to do. I should be able to walk outside in my own freaking neighborhood without being afraid.
And there's your rage
spiral. She should be able to run.
Yeah. And that's your rage spiral. It's like you have to be on guard, thinking about, oh my God. And it goes back to that whole your skirt is too short thing. Like it's you. It's not this illegal who is on a path of violence. It's you, like it's your fault. You shouldn't be running at this certain time. You shouldn't be doing this alone. It's like, that is such crap. If a girl wants to go out and take a run, she should be able to take a run. Now, granted, there are certain things that we should probably give certain tips of what to do, and you should have your head on a swivel. But at the same time, it's like the fact that we have to do that is madness.
It's infuriating.
That's our world now.
Absolutely infuriating.
Right.
But yeah, to that point, there was an excellent TikTok that got some publicity from the Daily Mail, because this gal apparently has a lot of, she does a whole thing of safety tips for girls. And some of the, I always am like, I see those headlines and I'm like, oh, I know all those things already. Like I've already got my head on a swivel. I already know some of the safety precautions or whatever. But some of these were like really, really new and interesting little helpful hints, I guess, about how to keep yourself safe when you're being asked about your background, your whereabouts, your plans on where you're going, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So in case other people find this helpful too, here is this TikTok. I think her name is Dana.
Specific situations where lying is the smart thing to do for your safety. And as you guys know by now, I call this lie to survive. This is something that both of my parents instilled in me at a very young age, and something that I've been practicing my entire life. Let's say you're in college and you're in the library studying for finals, and somebody that you don't recognize and get a bad vibe from comes over to you and asks if you go to school here. No, I'm just in town visiting my brothers and killing some time. They should be here any minute. No, I don't go here. I'm just in town visiting my boyfriend. He should be arriving any minute. No, my dad works here. I'm just waiting for him. We're going to go grab lunch. You're always waiting on a male figure, and you're never alone. Somebody with nefarious intentions is looking for an easy target. So do not be one. Expecting a male figure will be intimidating to that individual. Unfortunate reality of the world that we live in. Now let's say that you recently graduated college and you're off in a brand new city by yourself. You're sitting alone at a coffee shop or a bar, and somebody that you get bad vibes from will not leave you alone. And they ask if they could buy you a coffee or a drink. You're flattered, but no, thank you. I have a boyfriend. He'll be arriving any minute. That's nice of you to offer, but I actually have to get going. My 2 brothers are picking me up any second. You're nice initially to de-escalate a situation or prevent a situation from escalating altogether, but if it continues to escalate, you need to seek help and find a way to safely leave. Never leave alone. Go up to a bartender, ask somebody that works there to walk you to your car, call a guy friend, call your dad, call your brother, call your actual boyfriend if you have one. A code way to ask for help if you're at the bar is to go up to the bartender and order an angel shot. I teach you these tips because there's psychology behind lying for your safety. And it's the smartest first line of defense. Being nice doesn't mean that you're not being confident or assertive. You can do both. Key lies to remember. 1, you're never alone. 2, you're always expecting somebody. And 3, you don't live alone, even if you do. Lie to survive can apply to so many different situations in life. I have a degree in criminology and psychology, and I share daily safety tips.
It's totally handy. And I lived alone when I lived in Chicago. I didn't live alone. I actually lived with a roommate, but she was gone all the time. And so I would be alone a lot with her dog. So that's what would happen. And there were times where if I felt like if I would go, we had a little bar and grill that was up the road from us. And, we'd walk everywhere. And that's when you could walk a little bit more without being shot all the time in Chicago, right. Downtown Chicago. But I would walk, all over the place, shopping, grocery shopping, to do whatever. But after work, I would get off the subway and I'd stop in, have a meal, have a drink or whatever. And then I'd go home. I'd be by myself. And if I didn't feel comfortable doing that, I would find somebody in there to walk with me and walk me home. Same thing with if I've ever been I know I've been in public places before or at work where I've been okay, I don't feel comfortable walking out to my car. I'll find a male coworker to walk me to my car. There's no shame in that. I think women should totally take advantage of situations like that. I don't even know if take advantage is the right word, but you should do that and enlist men to help you do things like that. It's not have the patriarchy help you.
And trust your gut is another one because totally. Sometimes it's so easy. I mean, I did it even yesterday when I was when I was, looking at the Hispanics, and I probably overreacted, but I would much rather overreact than underreact. And so that's a good lesson. If you feel like something's amiss, even if it's not, wouldn't you rather behave as though there is something wrong?
Yes.
And so you're on guard and you're protecting yourself. And just to your point, like asking for help, even if you're worried that you might be overreacting, so what? It is better safe than sorry, especially with how crazy everything is right now.
I think women ignore their intuition a lot more than they should. And there's something there. Like if your stomach tells you something's not right, it's probably not right. That goes for a lot of things in life. That goes for relationships. That goes for a lot. Like just trust your gut more than you think you should. You should probably trust your gut.
And you should also trust the skincare from Genucell. Like this amazing product, which is the Gen 90 wrinkle treatment, brand new, hot off the presses, amazing product that helps you minimize wrinkles wherever you're worried about having them. So their entire skincare line, this is included in their most popular package, as is the XV cream, which is their, like a daily moisturizer, which is just
so fantastic. It's gold.
So gold. Nice to put on. So nice to put on. Both of those included in the most popular package right now, which is over 70% off. And the best part is that they're right now, I don't know how long this will last, but right now, Genucell is throwing in a free deep firming serum and a free beauty box with like mystery prize in it. And so all you have to do is go to genucell.com/chicks. That's GENUCEL.com/chicks. Use code chicks and get yourself the most popular package, which includes the magical Gen
It's
90.
Absolute magic in a bottle. And, listen, I think the most important thing that women can do is go to the polls this year. And
yes,
and it's all about policy. The only way that we're going to feel safer and have things get better in this country is if we make change with our feet. Go.
Yes.
You need to get up off your keisters and go vote, y'all, because I don't know how else to change things. And I want change for my daughters and for eventual, granddaughters. I want change because it's not getting any better. It's getting worse for us as women. Right? I mean, when it comes to crime, it's not. People on the left always talk about, oh my God, freedoms are being taken away from you. Your freedoms aren't being taken away from you. We're seeing a rash of crime in this country, and it's like we're just not freaking safe. Men or women really are not safe. So if you want that to change, you got to get up off your butt and you got to go vote.
Amen to that.
Yep. You guys, until next week, have a good one. Bye.